first thing that I want to do is I want to go over a portion of the Lapeef Let's Talk show that I was practically frustrated with. And the only person up there, for me personally, that was really making sense was the Angryman. Shout out to my dog, Angryman. And maybe it's that me and Angryman is just so one-on-one interconnected. Had him here in Detroit. We went to the game together. We spent some time together. He was on the panel cooking up, so on and so forth. But the only person that was really making sense to me was Angryman. And they had got into a conversation about money. And I heard somebody on the panel say, well, $45,000 isn't enough. Then I heard somebody else say on the panel, well, 2 average people together can survive. And that bothered me. Now, why would that bother me? It bothered me because we don't teach survival tactics here. We teach thrive. We teach thriving. Somebody said, Anton, is the Lambo an asset? Well, it depends on whether or not you can justify the cost of it from a business perspective. It depends on the value of it and when you decide to get rid of it. It depends on how it is that you purchase it. It depends on whether or not it's going to hold its value. It depends on also if you can use it in order to promote what it is that you got going on from a business perspective, especially from content creation. It depends on if you talk to your tax strategist. It depends on a lot of things, but absolutely a Lamborghini 100% can be an asset. Depends on how you use it and how you justify it from a financial perspective. Get the likes up. Get the likes up. It absolutely can be, especially if you buy into. All right? Cars are not just a status symbol. Jameson, that tells me that you don't know what you're talking about because you don't understand exactly how to keep more money in your pocket. You don't understand marketing and promotion. You don't understand justifying it from a business expense. And you also don't understand exactly what the resale value of that vehicle is, depending on how much mileage you get from it and how you can leverage it in order to make more money. And see, this is the small mind that y'all have, and that y'all looking at this at a basic level, and you're supposed to graduate. And when you get to a certain level, it's more than just what it is that you see on the surface. But we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it today. Let me see if I can move through to find exactly where this part is that I wanted to talk about on the Lapeef Let's Talk show. Because I started to jump on the panel, then I said, nah, we'll just break it down next week. Let me see if I can get.
I think it's going to turn out to be a dope conversation. The more you chase the market concept of
let me see if I can scrub
that. Who wants to go ahead and get into this first? Fantasy Island Girl, we'll go to you. I seen you jumped off that mic first.
We're going to jump off.
Go ahead.
We're going to go past that.
I still do it because it still brings me happiness.
So in this particular video, I think it's what he was talking about is control over media, you know, misrepresentation.
Surrounded by people who love us and support us, especially having a strong family dynamic, I think that's a true state of happiness versus trying to always get to a destination of happiness.
All right, let me get Lady Di in there. Then Angryman. Lady Di, what are your thoughts about it?
So I don't want to look at the happy word like, no, I just think you should do whatever your purpose is, whatever your God's will is, that's your true happiness. And, you know, you should wrap it into the Bible and figure out what that is. That's happiness to me.
Oh, yeah, Angryman, chime in on this. What's your thoughts about it, sir?
Okay, so I had a problem with the video too, because the dude was speaking brokenese. And I think there's a lot of guys that try to rationalize their level of mediocrity, and they try to pass it off as some sort of altruism about happiness. But the only problem was he laid out everything that supposedly doesn't make you happy, like money and material things, but he didn't say what does make him happy. So it's like this elusive myth that he's chasing, because the same way you could be chasing materialism, chasing money, you could be chasing the idea of happiness too. The reality.
Angryman is 1,000% on the money. 1,000% on the money. And he said a lot of dudes is just speaking brokenese. And he says, listen, people justify the idea of saying that money doesn't buy happiness, not because they really believe it, but because they don't really understand what it's like to have money. They don't really understand what it's like to have money. Listen, how can a person that's broke tell a person that has resources that money doesn't doesn't buy happiness. Doesn't matter whether it's true or not or the context behind it, but how can they when they've never experienced it? You know what I see online a lot of times? I see people say, well, Warren Buffett is doing this or Mark Zuckerberg is driving this. Well, Mark Zuckerberg also has a fucking private plane. And Warren Buffett lives on his private plane. How can you justify, and I'm reading super chats throughout the show, so thank y'all for continuing to hold me down. How can you justify by using someone else's lifestyle in order to exemplify your talking point? People also say a lot of times, well, Anton, you always use yourself as an example because I'm living it. And very rarely do you have somebody that can speak on it that's also a reflection of it, because most people that have resources don't want to fucking talk to you and give it to you for free. How is somebody that has never truly understood, they don't even know what $100,000 cash look like in front of them, let alone $1 million in cash. Never seen $1 million in their life. Don't even know what it feels like to hold $10,000 at one time. Has never had $10,000 in their bank account even after tax time. How can somebody then justify the idea of what happiness is if they've never truly experienced it on this level? Angryman is 100% right. Let's continue.
Reality is happiness is not a state of being any more than sadness or mourning is. It's something that comes in small doses. You know, there's certain things you're going to do that's going to make you happy. There's certain things you're going to do that's going to make you sad. It's not a constant state of existence. But whenever guys talk about, oh, you shouldn't pursue materialism or you shouldn't pursue money. Well, what if that makes you happy? What if it makes you happy to level up? What if it makes you happy to get a bigger house or a better car or any of those things?
Or be able to send your daughter to college without student loan debt, so you're not operating under duress and voting the wrong way because you think that Biden has already promised you, or Elizabeth Warren or somebody like Bernie Sanders, feel the burn, is giving you a pitch on whether or not you're going to vote for them depending on whether or not they're going to forgive your student loans. The Bible says, oh, no man, nothing. Your daughter and your son is going to have to go to school and beg somebody else for forgiveness in order for them to be able to be educated and compete. Don't tell me money don't buy happiness. It absolutely does, because my wife wakes up looking out over the water every single morning. And she don't have to go out there and compete the same way that you have to compete in order to be able to pay her bills, or to ensure that she got her heat turned on. And she ain't got to hear gunshots. You know why? Because money has afforded us the ability to move further out away from the trash that we don't want to even be able to see. Why? If money don't buy happiness, then how come there's so many payday loan spots in the hood? Why every person that's poor is holding up a sign saying, help me out, we'll work for food? I ain't never seen, listen, I did a homelessness project and I did it for a year. I've never seen a smile on people's faces from having to go and beg for resources in order to make sure that they can survive. Money is a tool. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything else will be added unto you. It also has a lesson about the talents. Some of the richest people in the Bible that God loved the most was some of the richest men in history at that particular time. There's so many lessons with regard to money that's in the Bible. But this is an excuse that you hear from people that refuse to do anything other than be average, or don't feel like they can ever achieve anything outside of what average looks like amongst the majority of the people. And so what they do is they make an excuse and they say, well, listen, money don't make you a good person. Money don't make you happy, or whatever, so on and so forth. The lack of money doesn't either. But it gives you and it affords you the opportunities that other people don't have. And if it's not a big deal, then why are y'all fighting so hard for reparations? If it's not a big deal, then how come you are fighting so hard for reparations? No worries. We're going to continue.
One thing that I know about life is that life is a constant competition from the moment that you're born all the way up until the day you die. And whatever your purpose is, you're going to constantly be competing with yourself to see if you can improve the next day better than you did
Thank you for the super chats. Reading them shortly.
the day before. And to me, there's nothing wrong with that. To me, there's nothing wrong with striving for excellence. People can call it materialism. They can call it pursuing money or whatever, but I'm not happy when I can't pay my bills. I'm not happy when somebody in my family needs help and I don't have any money. You know what I'm saying? So that whole concept of, oh, well, money doesn't make you happy. If money don't make you happy, you're not shopping at the right stores.
Facts. Talk to him.
But if someone offered you money, a large sum of money, or to live, which one would you pick?
And this is the problem with the conversation, is because people are so far removed from the logic. What does this have to do with the price of potatoes? If somebody offered you money or the ability to live, which one do you choose? What? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? If somebody offered you either money or the ability to live, which one would you choose? Lord have mercy. God bless us. Alvin S., thank you. I'm continuing to read super chats throughout the show. Elliot, I thank you. I'm going to continue to read super chats throughout the show. The price of potatoes in China. What the hell are we talking about? Let me move on, because I don't even want to continue to go on that part. I'm going to go ahead and scrub up a little bit.
Of what money affords me to be able to do, what money affords me, how money affords me to be able to live. You feel what I'm saying? So it's not I'm not going to be Scrooge McDuck and have just a freaking bin full of money that I swim in every day. The whole purpose of the money is
that's the only part that me and AM is going to disagree on. I'm going to be Scrooge McDuck and be diving in the money just like DuckTales. DuckTales, woo!
To be able to take care of the things I need to take care of so that I and my family can live a comfortable life. I don't see anything wrong with pursuing that.
No, it's nothing wrong with that. I was just making sure you just weren't a lover of money, because that's where the problems come in, when people are.
No, don't make sure that I'm not a lover of money. You make sure that you are not a lover of money. Don't make sure that I'm not a lover of money. You gonna let me do what I do. Y'all let all of these other trash bags out here in the streets do whatever it is that they want to do on a regular basis. Don't make sure that I'm not a lover of anything. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. I love the fact that my daughter's college's tuition is already paid for before she ever even get out of high school. I love the fact that when my wife wake up in the morning, she got a choice between driving the Benz, the S5, the S-Class, or she can go and jump in her Tesla. I love the fact that my wife got choices. I love the fact that my daughter got choices. I love the fact that we can choose to live wherever we want to live, when we want to live there. I love the fact that we can fly, and when we fly, we go about doing things the right way, right? And because we go about doing things the right way, we don't have to worry about the same things that everybody else runs with. Somebody says there's millionaires that commit suicide every day, and there's more poor people that commit suicide every day. There's more men that commit suicide than women. Every person's context is the same. Money is not the end all be all, but money is absolutely a tool that you can use in order to become more successful or empower the people that surround you. Let me tell you something. I'm tired of seeing GoFundMe's and fish fries because you can't pay for even to bury the person that you love the most. Listen, if it was up to me, I'd do away with GoFundMe's altogether. Don't tell me, but it's rich people that commit suicide every day. No, it's rich people that get knocked off every day because they're getting caught up with illegal activity. How you get it matters.
Lover of money. There's nothing wrong with, we're supposed to be prosperous. We're supposed to live in abundance. But when we focus so much on the money, not realizing that at any point it can be taken away, would you still be happy? Would you still be able to live a fulfilled life?
But I don't think that I genuinely do not believe, and I could be naive in this, I genuinely don't believe that it's people that just love money. I think people love what money can do for them.
Talk to them,
I think
AM.
people love the power that they get from money, or the ability to get certain things from money. I think the money is just the tool to get to that.
Talk to them.
Yeah, but
AM.
you have people that are deleting themselves.
Talk to them, AM. Let me fast forward a little bit.
Money is not really that big of an issue, because I could lose all the money I have today.
Let me see if I can go up.
And it's because I do love money, to be real.
But does money, Fantasy Girl, does money make, if you didn't have money, would you be happy?
Probably not. I've never not had money.
So
I've never not had money.
You
I
never,
don't think
so
I
you
would
never
find the
struggled?
joy in having no money. I think I would be miserable, honestly.
You never struggled?
I don't know what the hell y'all talking about, man. Let me tell you something. If I don't, I've never seen nobody that don't have money just be absolutely overjoyed every day. They wake up stressed. They wake up messed up. They wake up with their mind on things that they shouldn't even be focused on because they can't think about anything other than what it is that's facing them right there at that moment. That's why they say that you shouldn't make decisions under duress. Thank y'all for the super chats. I'm gonna be reading them after this segment. Have y'all ever seen people that's broke? How they move, how they think, why they got there in the first place? They messed up. They messed up. To be broke is demonic. To be broke is demonic. Facts. Facts. To not have resources or the ability to be able to feed yourself or to have to beg somebody else in order to help you is not what being a man is all about. I don't know what y'all talking about. We don't even talk that broke shit over here. I don't think it's one. Listen, it ain't a word broke on my Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. We don't talk broken ease. I'm sorry. We don't want to have that conversation. You're never going to have me have a stream or a Patreon drop that ever says that it's cool to be broke or you can find happiness in your brokenness. I'm going to say, listen, it's important for you to fail forward, learn from your experiences, and make adjustments so that you can then, you being compensated accordingly to however it is that you feel like your value or your worth is. But you're never going to see me advocating for anybody out here being broke. That is the dumbest thing that I've ever seen in my entire life.
Struggled before?
Girl, what happened to your Legos in a game?
Right. You know,
like Legos.
So,
but who's happy broke though?
No, it's not that you're
I haven't been broke.
It's not that you're ecstatic, but if no one has ever struggled, when you struggle, you find other ways to void. Okay, I don't have money right now. I'm gonna go get that. But right.
Yeah, you get on government assistance and then you let them tie you to the Democratic Party because they then say that they got your back, but that's really the thing that broke up your family. Oh, you let them tie you to government assistance, and then that's the very thing that then breaks up your family because it incentivizes you actually to divide yourself against the person that actually had your best interest at heart. Oh, you know what broke does? Broke breaks your heart. More relationships break up over money than anything else. As a matter of fact, marriage was largely put together in a lot of different ways in order to keep resources within the family. You couldn't even marry. Why do you think that there are so many movies? Because it's a reflection of history. Why do you think that there are so many movies where they get mad at the man for choosing a chick that's a pauper or that came from the poor family? They like, fam, listen, you talk about you in love. You need to be focusing on whether or not this chick is even worthy to be in your presence because I'm not really sure that she understands what it is that we built here for you, sir. Why do you think that they always required for the parents to pick the spouse? Why do you think that it's a concentration of power? Huh? They didn't want him picking her because she was broke and she didn't even understand the concepts behind what it is that we were building here. She too busy trying to fuck up the money and cause she not used to nothing. Right? She got her baby hairs over her head and they coming all the way down to her eyebrows and she making us look bad and she fucking up our network and our resources. Bamboo earrings, at least 2 pair. I'm trying to tell you.
Right now, I'm not going to be miserable because if you're miserable and you start being sad because you ain't got nothing, you ain't going to get it. You have to be in a happy state of mind to sit here and strive to get some dollars.
But see, that's why I said happiness comes in doses. You can be struggling and you might go out with your friends and you're happy in that moment. But once you leave your friends and you go back to living your regular life, you go back to being stressful about the things you have to take care of. Happiness is not like a static, just somebody's walking around there happy every day. That's not the way it works. And I think people think that's the way it's supposed to work.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not.
I feel like I'm happy most days because I've never been broke.
Happiness. Like that's not that. Even if you're going out with your friends and you broke, you got a fake smile on your face. Like that's what I'm saying. Like we got to be real with ourselves.
Well, it depends it depends on who your friends are, and it depends on how good of a time you're having.
Yeah, I wouldn't even go out broke. I don't know.
I would don't experience that. Somebody tell me my mic's still stacked.
Still low.
It's low now.
Oh yeah.
I'm hearing a lot of talk
okay,
about
How about now?
I'm hearing a lot of talk about women saying what they want to do.
How about now?
Do for happiness. Y'all can
I
hear me?
want to.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What Precious is ideally saying is that our life is priceless, and we're supposed to love people and use things, and not love things and use people. So,
And Ali is wrong. Your life is not priceless. Your life has a listen. Even the Bible said you've been bought and paid for, right? A price was paid for you to even have salvation and righteousness. It took a whole nother life that was more valuable and worth way more than yours in order to ensure that you even have the opportunity for salvation. Every single person, both naturally and spiritually, has a price or a worth that is attached to whatever it is or whoever it is that they are. It is a fact. Your life is not priceless. Your life is worth X, Y, or Z. X, Y, or Z. I don't know what they told y'all. I don't know why they keep giving y'all these fairy tales. It sounds like, honestly, that y'all been watching a lot of Disney movies. It sounds like y'all been watching a lot of Disney movies. Okay, all right. So why do we have certain terms that then apply to certain groups? I'll give you an example. Why do you say white privilege? Why do you say you were raised in a white neighborhood, for example? As though that's better, because they struggling just as much as black people, to be honest with you. And it's more white people on welfare than it is black people, based off of the percentages in the population, of course. But if you look at the census of how much they make, and they struggling just as much as you are. White men was complaining about white women way before black men was complaining about black women. Why is it necessary in order for you to get a college degree to go into certain fields? Why can't anybody just walk in and do the job? Why is this man worth more than you? Why do they say you worth more dead than you are alive? These are just terms, talking points that people are just throwing out there that don't actually mean anything. Because let me tell you something. If you compare yourself against the guy that's across the street, I inherently will tell you that there is a difference between you and him. Y'all are not equal. You are not equal. The decisions that you make every single day is going to determine whether or not he's worth more than you or you're worth more than him. And when we look at people and we evaluate what it is that they've done and how it is that they're able to substantiate whether or not they're worth listening to, you don't just listen to anybody. You got to take into consideration the value that they bring.
So essentially, we're going to get money to invest in people. So I think we're taking a lot of that out of context. And we're also pretending as a society as if a man now is not choosing his money over a woman choosing the money over a man, and we're choosing money over even our children. So we got to be real, like we in a society where we are chasing the superficial and money over investing in better people. Right now, our community is divided over money and clout right now. Like people are chasing money over our investment in each other and better quality people. So when
And he's wrong. He's wrong. He's wrong as two left shoes. Wrong as two left shoes. I see broke people get together and rah and spend more time around other broke people than I see them spending around people that can actually add value into their life. People will spend more time investing in trying to understand whether or not this person is beefing with this person than they will actually rocking out with podcasts that give them the game or how it is that they can level up and become more successful. People will spend more money on a Netflix subscription than they will investing in themselves to better understand how it is that they can level up and become more successful. That is a myth. It is a myth. The whole idea of people really, really chasing the bag is a myth. People chase the thing that make them feel good temporarily, not the thing that's in their best interest long term, which is one of the reasons why people go to college and they take out a bunch of student loans instead of investing in themselves and understanding that I'm going to go into this field in order to make sure that I can pay for myself and ensure that I'm going to have a happy, successful life and I can actually provide for my children. You listen, the time that you spend with your children is null and void if you don't actually give them an opportunity in order to be better versions of themselves. I see women that have 1,000 children and they be with their children all day and they be poor and they got roaches crawling across their face and it don't mean shit because she ain't got a pot to piss in or an opportunity to give them.
Said, if you pick your life over, let's say $1 million, your life is that precious. We went to get money to invest in each other. We weren't getting money to lead people. But what essentially is happening is people are putting more investment in material things and money than each other. We ain't just loving each other like that, especially in our community. We gotta stop pretending. And the fact that we're not loving each other, we prioritize the money. Yo, at least I got money. Like, come on, y'all.
Yeah, I agree.
Here's the fact of the matter. This is the truth. People that have resources, they stay married longer. People that have resources, their relationships last longer. That is a 100% fact. People that have resources, their children generally turns out better. It's less likely for them to go to jail, less likely for them to have to need extensive therapy in order to undo all of the PTSD and the trauma that they had in order to just walk to school every day and seeing crackheads, dope dealers, and a dead body laying over there in the grass. People that have resources tend to be nicer, more amicable. They tend to have more opportunities, and so they don't stress over the same things that you stress. They walk slower. They live longer. It's a fact. People that have resources, they have stronger, longer lasting bonds and relationships with their children and their spouses. It is a fact. Look it up. And the problem is that we don't have a barrier to entry in which we hold people accountable for before we start allowing them to start having kids. So it's not about whether you have kids, it's whether or not you can afford to have kids, which is the uncomfortable conversation that people don't want to have. Dynamic Dame is always wrong. Every single thing that Dame types inside of the chat is wrong. He said rich people get cheated on more. Says who? Because poor people had the most kids out of wedlock and in wedlock. How do rich people get cheated on more? How can you substantiate that? Or are you just saying some shit?
I can relate.
Thanks, Ali.
So I'm gonna chime in
That was
because
it.
I was a little bit late, but I listened to the video, and basically what I
Let me
got
move
from what
forward.
Ford think about the money that you
to be able to get a beautiful woman. So how could a broke man get one if getting a woman and marrying her is part of his happiness? How is he going to get that happiness if he's broke?
Let me ask y'all a question. Somebody said KS will be proud of you. I'm going to read Super Chat shortly. How come every single woman that jumped on Kevin Samuels' platform in order to have a conversation with him said that they wanted a what? A 6-figure dude and a high value man. Now, I'm not saying that they right. I'm not saying that they qualified. That is not even a part of this conversation. How come every single woman said that they wanted a high value man and they wanted that man to at least be making as much as them or more or 6 figures? Just curious. Just curious. Just curious. Everybody gets cheated on. It don't matter if you got money or you don't got money. Everybody get cheated on. Rich, poor, it's all the same. How come every single woman that jumped on these platforms, you can go and look at Kendra G's live right now. It don't matter if they dusty, busted, disgusted, 700 pounds, 300 pounds, 200 pounds, 150 or 125. They all say the same thing.
So you're
And
saying
AM,
if you don't have a
Hold
girl,
on,
who's
hold on real quick.
happy,
Before y'all
like,
answer that, AM, can you reverse that question on the other side? If a man would marry them with that same thing?
He would.
He would.
Exactly.
But that's the nature of.
No, but hold on. So then if you're saying that you only love a man because of the material possessions and with the car he has, do you essentially really love that man? Like if you have
Well,
two,
yeah,
you have
you-
a
You only love him.
Ali, I hate to break it to you, but love is an action word, sir. Love is an action word, sir. It is an action word. Let me see if I can scrub through a little bit more of this, and then we're gonna move on because I want to get into this Fed Now conversation.
Ourselves, you should be progressing. But
Okay.
I'm not here to hold you to that because you should do that for yourself.
Trying to get at.
Like I feel like I have
be able to be patient with you to grow into the man that you.
day I go to work.
That's an impossible question.
It's not.
I think her
I
answer
would
is the
feel
best.
like
It is.
Little to nothing in a tiny house these days. You
Yeah.
understand there's more to life now. You don't have to get a big ass house.
Hold on, Lady Di. Hold on, Lady Di. You're taking it too far. Hold on.
What's your
What city do
budget?
you live in, and what is broke? And I'll start with Real Precious, since she.
I would say, I mean, if we had to give it a number, I would say like 30, 35.
And what city you live in?
I'm not telling you what city I live in, but I do live in New Jersey.
Okay, Bruiser.
Honestly, man, I think you conflating the words. I think you're talking about poor. When you
No.
ask about salary levels, I think you're talking about poor.
can't-
No.
the reason-
I'm not. I'm going off of what's been getting
I
said,
agree,
not only on the
because
panel,
broke is
but in the
not-
comments.
The
section.
reason
So
why
what is
that
broke?
the reason why that
because
question
you
the
can
reason
make
why
a
that,
lot of money.
the reason why that question can't be answered that simply is because being broke is not measured on how much money you make. It's measured on how much disposable income you have.
Fair. So what is that? What is
It's
the
also-
income level?
it's also
what is the
measured-
income level that gives people disposable income? What is that income level? We all got a number in our head. I don't know why we so afraid.
It's not about a number.
Well,
I think it's
not
just
measured-
not
it's
about a
not
number.
measured
I
on
think
From everyone
it's about
else's.
the freedom.
You
It
trying to
doesn't-
quantify it, and I think it's being broke is not having the financial literacy, not being able to break away from
Okay, that's
getting
mindset.
above. Like
That's mindset. But let's keep it real. We're
because
going off of,
the reason why I said it because you can make $250K and be broke.
And be
First-
broke,
Correct.
spending too much
Correct.
damn money. Like
That's why you can't really say, oh, it's just salary. You can have $250K, but if your mindset is
what is
you
the
gotta
likelihood of
broke
somebody making $250,000 a year?
A
being
lot,
broke?
a lot of
Oh,
people.
it's a lot of
are
people.
That
just
definitely
doing
happens.
it.
Yeah.
This tells me about whether or not you actually are a bag chaser or not, because the average person making 6 figures a year, especially among millennials, more than half are living paycheck to paycheck. More than half of everybody that is making more than 6 figures are living paycheck to paycheck. I'm going to leave it there. Because later on in the stream, they start talking about whether or not $45,000 or whether or not two people that is poor together, but then they pull their resources together, they can make it and survive. And I just couldn't do it. I didn't even want to. I said, you know what? Let me go to sleep. Shout out to the Lapeef Network continuing to do great things. I think that you guys make sure that you tune in on Thursday nights for Lapeef Let's Talk. More importantly, make sure you tune in tonight for the Anton Daniels channel. On my other site, because Q is going to be doing a show and it's going to be absolutely out of control. It's going to be incredible.